Here's the experiment. I'm just going to call this experiment number 1. It was the discovery of what the scientists called a previously unrecognized form of energy. Look at the title of this. This is the investigation of the fluctuation dynamics of DNA solutions by laser correlation spectroscopy. Now, I know all of you have a beautiful hardbound copy of that on your bedstand for light bedtime reading like I do, because you just love to read it before you go to bed. No, but here's what they did. The idea is very simple, and this is powerful. If you've never seen this before. They took a vessel that was closed on both ends, glass tube, it was closed on both ends, and they drew all the air out of the tube. And when we take all the air out of something, we call it a vacuum. We say it's empty, which is interesting to me because we know it's not really empty. There's still something there. Even though the air is gone, something is there, and that something are little particles of light that quantum particles are made of. They're called photons. So this is what atoms are formed of. Atoms are formed of particles of light called photons. So even though they pulled the air out, they know that photons are still in here. So the first part of the experiment, they said, okay, where are they? Are they all like clumped at the bottom of this vessel? Are they sticking to the sides? Or are they hovering in the middle? Where are they? All right, so the first part of the experiment, they simply measured where are the photons when the air is taken out. Here's the result. They were absolutely random. This is exactly what they expected. No big deal, no surprise here. Let's go to the second part of the experiment. Now, the experiment that I'm going to share with you is fascinating, but what I find particularly fascinating is that before this experiment could happen, a scientist had to change his or her thinking to create the experiment. Why am I saying that? Because listen to what they did. They took human DNA and they put the DNA into the vessel with the photons. And they wanted to see if the DNA would affect the photons. Okay? The DNA is the stuff you and I are made out of. The photons is the stuff that our world is made out of. And what they're asking is, can we influence this reality that we find ourselves immersed in? Can human DNA interact the stuff our world is made of? Well, that sounds like some pretty esoteric and mystical stuff. And for a scientist trained in the ideas of separation, that is a big leap. So the fact they even thought about this, look at what they did. So here's what they did. They took human DNA, they introduced it into the vacuum. Here's the DNA, it's in the vacuum. Now they measured the photons, and something happened that was completely unexpected for most scientists. Watch what happens. The DNA is influenced, the double helix, the spiral, the double helix, and look at what the photons do. All of a sudden, the photons, they align with the DNA. The distribution of the photons in the presence of the DNA, it is aligned. That means the stuff we're made of has the ability to influence the stuff our world is made of.